Good morning, YouTube, or afternoon, wherever you are. I'm Daniel Sage. Thanks for being here. Today I want to talk about why I quit as a truck driver. Yes, it's true. I drove across the lower 48 states for 3 years as a truck driver, and it was one of the most depressing things that I've ever done. It was also one of the funnest things I've ever done at first. The allure was very strong. I got into it and fell in love. For the first few months, just being on the road, the life of adventure was incredible. But I soon came to terms with the fact that if you're always moving, you can't hold a life together. Social life, a family life. You'll always be passing by at 65 miles an hour. So I went to school and it was free. And I got my CDL in Arizona, and then a company recruited me and signed me up called May Trucking, and they are self-insured, so they get to take risks on new drivers. And I had a blast. I trained for 2 weeks, and then I got my own truck. It was incredible. It was 2015 when I did this, and this was the first time I've ever made middle class money. So there's not a lot of jobs out there that you can just train for a month or two and then go make big bucks. And I definitely rode that experience out through the highs of getting paid up to, at my highest I was getting paid 85 cents per mile. I started out at 35 cents per mile, I believe, and it was a lot of fun at first, just being on the road, following all these missions that the company sends you. Go from Washington State to Florida, or New York to California, and you're just out on the road for days at a time. It's super fun. Those were the funnest, the long loads. And you're taking showers at truck stops or eating at truck stops, it gets old really quick. So that's got to be why, one of the main reasons why I quit is it gets old so quick. You get tired. And the companies, they push you. They want to get as many miles out of you as they can. And you're getting paid by the mile, so the incentive is to go as fast as possible. So in a lot of ways, it's kind of a dangerous job. Top 10 most dangerous job it is. And I just wouldn't advise it, because the money may be okay on the surface, but when you break it down, that job is costing you your health, your life, and it's just not worth it. And I would advise myself, as a younger version of myself, to go train as an electrician or a plumber or some other kind of trade that would pay you better, and that might be more a sustainable skill that you could do over the course of a life. Because as it stands right now, as I'm getting on into my 30s, my body is just not able to do that job anymore. It took a huge toll on me, and I had to spend a lot of years trying to recover from that job. And a lot of times, they treated us like crap. They treated us like cattle at sea, trying to make us do loads that we didn't want to do. There was times I got fired at one point for refusing to do a load because they didn't want to send me home when I wanted to be home. And it comes down to hard decisions like that you got to make out there on the road. When you're out there, you're vulnerable, and it's just tough to be compromised like that, where you're in charge of such a large piece of equipment, and they don't really care about you. They don't really know you, so they don't have much reason to treat you well. At least with medium and bigger size companies, Sometimes you'll find a small company that cares, but most of the time people just really don't care about you, and you stay out there for a paycheck, but is that paycheck really worth it? And I think that there's a lot of other better ways to make a living, and I noticed that that job is kind of like a trap. It's a kind of an addiction to be out on the road, because you have this sense of freedom that you don't really have, and you feel like you can do and go where you want, but you really can't. And it's a lot of fun driving a rig, but it's also real dangerous. Drivers are dying all the time, especially in wintertime, slipping on ice. And it happened to me too. I slipped on some ice, I hydroplaned. I had some real close calls out there in adverse weather conditions. And oh, there's another truck driver growing right now, firing up a truck. No, I'm out here in Hawaii today. So yeah, just reflecting on my life as a truck driver, and it's been a couple years now since I've done that job, and I could never last more than 6 months at a time, and there's a reason. You just need a break, and I just really wouldn't advise it for a young driver just to go out there and go get their CDL, because right now they're paying less than ever when you account for cost of living. And I don't even think, oh, gee, come on. I don't even think that it's worth it anymore, So just keep that in mind, that there's better careers out there where you don't have to leave everything. Even if you don't like your family, you don't like your friends, maybe you'll get out there and you realize that, they weren't that bad. So just think about what you really want to do, and just try to take my advice that it's a lonely life. It's a lonely life out there on the road. And if you got any kind of mental health stuff going on, it's going to get exacerbated. And I just really think that you can do better. All right. Thanks.